love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart is falling too, I'm in love with your body.
Hey, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and today we're going to show you how to play Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. And we're going to teach it to you in two different ways. We're going to teach you a bar chord version, which is a bit more difficult, a bit more intermediate, uses bar chord shapes. And then we're going to show you a simplified version that uses the capo, and they both sound pretty much the same. They'll both use the same strumming pattern. The only difference is whether or not you want to use a capo or use bar chords. Other than that, if you need any extra help with this song, feel free to check out the link down below to our free ebook. It's free to all of our subscribers, and that'll help you with all the basic chords. It'll show you an easy way to play the F chord, and there's a bunch of videos and stuff that go with it, so it's really good for just building a solid foundation. And if you need any extra help, check out the links down below. Other than that, before we get started, I'd really appreciate it if you took a moment to help support us, and that can be as simple as hitting the thumbs up below, subscribing to our channel, and leaving a comment. So please help us out there if you find that you are learning from our channel. Otherwise, let's get started with the chord shapes. So put your capo on the 4th fret, and it's really important to make sure that you're still in tune when you put your capo on. And we're going to start off with an A minor chord. So just avoid the lowest string there if you can. Just get these 5. Then we're going to switch to a D minor chord. And if you have trouble switching from A minor to D minor, just start off in your A minor shape there and move the whole thing over. And then you can just slide up that finger, or you could just use that finger instead. But the important thing to notice is you can just move that whole thing over, and we pretty much have most of the shape. We just need to change one thing. So that's a really easy way to switch from A minor to D minor. And for D minor, top 4 strings only, so avoid the bottom 2 strings. Next, we're going to switch to the little F chord. So it's not the big F bar chord. We're just going to switch to a little F chord. And I recommend keeping this finger down, your middle finger, and then making the rest of the shape. Since D minor and F, they share that finger, you don't really have to move it. You can just leave it down and just switch back and forth. Practice that a bit if you need help with it. So we have our little F chord, same thing, just top 4 strings. And then finally we go to a G chord, just a normal G chord. So if you need to, take a moment and work your way through the shapes. Take your time making sure you got the switches. We're going to practice them together nice and slow now before we do the strumming pattern. We're just going to use downstrokes only. So let's do that really slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Get ready to switch to D minor. 3, 4, F. Remember to leave that middle finger down. And then G, 2, 3, back to A minor. This song is just this progression over and over. Same 4 chords over and over. Let's do a couple more times. A minor, switch to D minor, little F, last time. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So before moving on to the strumming pattern, make sure you can play it just like that, downstrokes only, counting along and making sure that you're switching the chords right on beat 1. So take your time with that, and when you're ready, we're going to move on to the strumming pattern, which goes like this. So that's just down, down, up, up, down, up. And that is the most common strumming pattern in the universe. You'll find it in like 90% of songs. You might already know it. If you don't, we're going to break it down into 2 parts. First, it's down, down, up. Once again, down, down, up. And then up, down, up. And since we're starting with an up on that second half, do like an invisible downstroke, like miss, up, down, up, miss, up, down, up. That way you can keep it in time, because it's really easy to keep downstrokes in time. They just line up with the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, but the upstrokes go between the beat. 3, 4, 1, 2. See, that's kind of weird. It's between the beat. So just make sure you acknowledge that there's an invisible downstroke. When you're putting it all together, it would go maybe like this. Down, down, up, miss, up, down, up, down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. So if you have trouble with that, try it out. Check out our ebook. We actually go over that strumming pattern in depth. There's like a whole video just dedicated to it. There's a link down below if you're having trouble with it. Otherwise, if you already know it or if you feel really comfortable with it, we can practice putting the chords and the strumming pattern together. So let's do that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's figure out how to play it using bar chords. And the very first chord for that is C sharp minor. Now if you're not familiar with these chord shapes, but you feel like you're ready to get started with them, I'll just give you a really quick tutorial on how to make these shapes effectively. So for C sharp minor, for instance, we just make our A minor chord here, but we use these fingers instead. See, I'm saving up my first finger. Now I slide it up until my first finger lines up with the 4th fret. So that's where that chord comes from. We just take the A minor, we slide it up, B flat minor, B minor, C minor, just going up through the chromatic scale till we get to C sharp minor. And we're gonna avoid hitting the lowest string on that one, so just these 5 here. Next we have F sharp minor. And for F sharp minor, that just comes from the E minor chord. We can do the same thing, play our chord with these 2 fingers instead of the normal way, and then just slide it up till our finger's on the 2nd fret, all 6 strings. And if you find that you're having a hard time pressing down with just 1 finger, you're totally welcome to kind of back it up by stacking your middle finger on top of there. I find that gives me a bit of a better grip, a bit of an easier time, more balanced. And now the next 2 chords, we can get the shape from F sharp minor. So we already have the basic shape here. We're just going to slide it up till our first finger is on the 5th fret. And then we're going to put our middle finger down on the 6th fret of the G string. So it's really close to that last shape. We just added a finger and we just moved it. That's an A bar chord. And then next, all we have to do is slide this shape up 2 more frets and we get a B bar chord. So my first finger is at the 7th fret. Once again, all 6 strings. So once we get past that first chord, that C sharp minor, we're kind of home free as far as moving our hand is concerned. You get on that F sharp minor chord, all you got to do is slide it up, add a finger, and then just slide that up. Really, really straightforward. So let's work on it a little bit together right now. Nice and slow, downstrokes only, nothing too complicated. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch to F sharp minor. Slide it up, add a finger. 3, 4, B, 2, 3, 4, C sharp minor. 3, 4, F 4, B, 2, 3, 4. And now that we've worked on the chord shapes and practiced switching between all the different bar chords, let's try it with the strumming pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. So since this song uses the same 4 chords over and over and over and over again, we need to do something to help make it a little bit more interesting. And on the recording, there's all sorts of sounds, there's all these layers, there's all this stuff that does keep it interesting. But when we're just playing it on an acoustic guitar, we need to know maybe a couple things we can do to address the dynamics of the song. You know, how much energy we're putting into it, how loud or soft we're making it. And I think a really good way to do that is with an alternate strumming pattern. So we can go between 2 different strumming patterns depending on where we're at in the tune. You know, if we want it to be a bit more bare or if we want it to be more full. The strumming pattern that we've been using so far does make a really full effect. Like I'm just filling the air with sound. At the beginning of the tune, you might notice it's really, really sparse. It sounds something like this. And all I'm doing there is playing a bass note. I'm just playing the lowest note of each chord. So for my C sharp minor, I'm playing that note. And I'm playing it with a particular rhythm that goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So once again, a little bit slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And on top of that, I'm filling up the rest of it with just muted strokes. So I'm plucking a note, then I'm letting my finger lightly off the note so that I just get that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then when you speed it up, you get a pretty cool bass line kind of thing. You could maybe start the song out like that, you know, just cycling that a few times. By the way, the notes for that are, as I mentioned, just the lowest note in each chord. So C sharp minor, lowest note C sharp, F sharp minor, that's just the 2nd fret of the low string, 5th fret, 7th fret. Now we could take that a step further and we could do it with the entire chord. So instead of just hitting the lowest note, we can go. And I'm just doing the exact same thing there. I'm pressing it down on 1, then I'm letting the pressure off, and then I'm putting the pressure back down. And the important thing to do here is keep your arm just going down and up the whole time, just like when you're strumming. I'm just doing that, and then I'm just pressing down the strings on the correct beat. I'll do it a bit slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we kind of have 3 different modes that we can do here, all using like the same ingredients. You know, we can go or we can do the full strumming. And if you just listen to the recording, you can kind of use your own discretion and kind of have fun with it. This isn't too difficult. You're just picking when you're going to do which one of those. And once you're good at all of that, you'll have no problem doing that. So that's how you play Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you found that you learned something, I'd really appreciate it if you took the time to give us a thumbs up, maybe hit subscribe or leave a comment. Once again, if you need any help with the chords or strumming or any of the foundational stuff, I encourage you to check out our ebook. It's free to all of our subscribers, and there's a link down below. Other than that, I hope you have a fun time practicing, and we'll see you next week.